Welcome back to Adventures in Problem Solving with Mathman. Today we have an interesting problem. It's a very common problem. If you're into woodworking or carpentry, you might find this kind of helpful, and you're welcome to use the Desmos dynamic model that I created. Basically, the person that I did this project for had a panel. It was about 60 inches by 20 inches or so, and they wanted two rectangles in it, and specifically, they just wanted trim around the outside and the same type of trim and two rectangles on the inside. They didn't really know much more about it, but I wanted to make sure that when we did do these rectangles, they were aesthetically pleasing and that they looked good. And so I asked myself, there's got to be a way to make it so that these borders are exactly the same in the middle, the top, and the left, all the way around. So when I created the trim, it would look nice. And so what I did was I created a Desmos model. And the nice thing about the model that I created, I was able to show it, and it's a dynamic model. So the person I was doing this for was able to manipulate it and give me the exact ratio that they wanted. And when I was done, I had the measurements, so I could just go down and mark it all off, and it easily went together with the trim. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to show you the Desmos model. I will make a link to the model available, and you're welcome to go to that link and use that model, especially if you're a carpenter or you do any kind of woodworking. I like to make sure that when I do my math, there's math in everyday problems. And a lot of people don't recognize how much math and how you can incorporate math in your problem solving. And so that's kind of my goal with this video, is to show a way that math helped me solve an everyday problem, and it did it quite effectively. So this is the Desmos model I created for the panel problem. As you can see in the diagram, I have my two rectangles. This turned out to be the final output, and I was able to get the measurements from the different corners, so I knew exactly where to put the trim for the center rectangles. But I designed this so that when a person needing to use this could use it for just about any panel with two rectangles in the middle with any trim. It's dynamic, and in other words, you can manipulate the height. So if I had a shorter panel or if I had a taller panel, I can manipulate that. And of course, you could change H to whatever you want. And then down here, the width, you could make the shorter panel, and you'll notice the borders are all congruent throughout this. Well, let's say you have a smaller trim. You can actually move the trim, and it'll automatically, you've got some real thick trim right here. You can, like 2 inches. Let's make this 2 inches. There we go. So let's say you have some kind of 2-inch trim, and let's say you have a 48-inch board. So, went too far. There we go. 48-inch board. And so you got a 48 by 24 board, and you got 2-inch trim. Now, this automatically make sure that all of those things are exactly the same. If you want the distance to change, so that's a further thing. You can make between the trim and the borders. You can also manipulate how you want the distance from the inner rectangles to the outer border. And so you've got all four of these things that you can manipulate. So it makes it very effective at finding the measurements when you're doing this type of a job. I was very pleased with it. The only reason I created such a detailed model was I intend on creating more boards like this. And the one thing that I found was extremely useful is when the customer or the person you're doing it for, if you're not doing it for yourself, they've got specifics that they want. They have certain widths or lengths. And the nice part about it is you can mess around with the trim. Maybe they like it this way. Maybe they like smaller rectangles, and you can kind of manipulate it around to however you want. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you used the Desmos model, and I thank you for watching my video.
Mathman approves. Please remember to like and subscribe.